Hey, welcome. Let's go to Africa. I don't mean we're planning someday we're going to go to Africa. I mean today. Maybe you had to cancel some plans this summer. Maybe you're just jonesing for an adventure. I'm super excited to be able to take you along on the journey. Overland Bound is a worldwide organization. Therefore, we have regional directors around the world to represent our members where they are. We tend to bring a California, Sierras perspective to the channel because that's where we're from, but we're happy when we get to share these adventures with you. Now, Christoff, a good friend and our regional director in Africa and the Middle East, has been planning this trip to the Central Kalahari Reserve for a very long time. He collaborated with a few different groups and some great folks who contributed their cinematography and their skill to make this video. So I want you guys to check out their channels. Christoff has a channel called Get Out Go. He reviews campsites in his area and region. Roland, My Life in Africa. We have Ed from Edward Bath, Overlanding, and Ryan from 4x4 Ventures. Their links to their channels will be down in the description. Check them out, support them. Because they went on these trips and shared their footage, we get to go on a journey today. So without further ado, let's go to Africa.
Hi everybody, I'm Christoff, and today we'll be talking a little bit about myself and the video I'll be watching.
I'm the Regional Director for Overland Bound Africa and the Middle East. On my YouTube channel, I explore Southern Africa and catalogue and review rustic camping spots. We recently completed a crossing of the Central Kalahari, and we'd like to share some of those experiences with you. This was an epic overlanding trip over 14 days, 1,700 miles, 90 hours of driving, and countless memories made. Join me today as we visit Botswana. The Central Kalahari Game Reserve, or CKGR, is located in central Botswana. This is the largest and by far the most remote reserve in southern Africa, and is second largest in the world. It covers a whopping 52,000 square kilometers. On this trip, I would be joined by 3 other YouTubers: Roland from My Life in Africa, Ed from Edward Bath Overlanding, and Ryan from 4x4 Ventures. Links in the description below. Remember to air down, as you will already start to find some thick sand here. Our first camp is Kori Camp, around 2 hours drive from Matsuri. Kori is located on the edge of the Deception Valley. This waterless oasis, known as the Deception Valley, was named after a shallow valley which creates the illusion of containing water, but is in fact a dry riverbed that hasn't seen much water in the last 15,000 years. Welcome to Kori Camp. It was quite a long drive from Koma. We're at Kori 3 and it's quite a nice campsite. The sites in the CKGR that have ablutions feature private circular open structures that contain a pit toilet and a bucket shower. Remember, you have to bring your own water. Attractions around Kori include the Deception Valley, Deception and Leopard Pans. Expect to see game like Kempsbok, Springbok and the occasional predator. We heard lions every night at camp.
Does any of this stuff need to be cleaned?
Chris, you're getting the sun or echo in here. I don't have to worry about concrete. Yeah. Our next stop would be a small detour north to Sunday Pan. The detour is well worth it though, as Sunday is a beautiful area with plentiful wildlife. It's about an hour and a half drive with 2 tracks to choose from. After 3 days at Kori, we at Sunday Pan, we are number 3. There's 1, 3 and 4. I can't seem to find a number 2. After the rain, the Kalahari becomes alive with large herds of plains game such as springbok and gemsbok. Black-backed jackals are also a regular sight, and be on the lookout for bat-eared foxes as well. You can also expect to see wildebeest, hartebeest, eland and giraffe. In the Kalahari, you never know what's around the corner either. Out of the blue, a pack of painted dogs started chasing springbok, and it wasn't long before they brought one down. Wild dogs devour their kills in seconds.
I think there's 2 takedowns. 1, 2 dogs have gone back. The others are here on the left.
The excitement of this kill was palpable. As it was getting dark, it was time to reluctantly head back to camp. So we're going past Passage, we're going to our next campsite, which is Letlhakau. We opted to go straight for Letlhakau as it was about 3 hours drive, and we also wanted to see if Letlhakau was open as an alternative. Sudden thunderstorms during the rainy season make for some interesting driving. Fortunately though, they're usually gone as fast as they appeared. We decided to push on to Letlhakau to see if it's available, as it's a nicer campsite in my opinion. Letlhakau is also a wilderness campsite, but it's larger than Letlhakau and has much more shade. We would stay here for one evening before our first long stretch to Kare. The track between Letlhakau and Kare is around 120 kilometers, but it's at least 8 hours of tough driving. After a long drive and a quick stop at the gate to dispose of our garbage and sign in, we were finally at Kare. Kare is also a wilderness camp, so no facilities here. It has 1 tree for shade and is fairly exposed. Not a bad campsite, but we would only be here for 1 night. The next day's drive would be the toughest of them all, Kare to Bape. The narrow sandy track had not seen another vehicle in weeks. The track often has humps which are difficult to see and put the vehicle into a series of ever-increasing bounces. You can also expect some additional pinstripes on your car thanks to the overgrowth. We arrive at Bape some 8 hours later. Bape is also a wilderness camp and literally in the middle of nowhere. We would again only spend 1 night here. Bape had a few nasty guests waiting for us. No less than 5 puff adders came through camp. Always wear closed shoes around camp and keep an eye out for the creepy crawlies. Tough drives and snakes aside, Kalahari sunsets never disappoint. Next morning we were off to Malose, a 6-hour drive. We arrived late afternoon again with just enough time to visit the waterhole for a sundowner. All the while we were still looking for lions. Even though we heard them every night, we still hadn't seen any. We are on Malose Camp 2, definitely my favorite. We spent 1 night at Malose and then it was off to our final camp, Kutsi. The road is quite scenic and great for game viewing. Coetzee has 10 campsites arranged in a semicircle. I don't recommend Site 2 as it's really small and the bathrooms are far away. Remember to always be careful of predators in the CKGR. As far as game goes, Coetzee certainly doesn't disappoint. We finally found those elusive lines. This land has a special kind of magic, from the rippling heat below the horizon to rolling thunderstorms drenching the pans. Desert beasts in endless combat with the elements. This is a place you won't soon forget. This is the Central Kalahari.
Certainly what we're seeing is even these remote places are getting more traffic as it becomes more accessible with good four-wheel drive vehicles, rentals, and it was even more important to look after these places and apply some of the tread lightly principles, leave it better than you found it, and especially education for people doing this the first time.
Yeah.
And it's not so much calling them out as calling them in. I think Corey said that is a really good principle to spread that knowledge, not just in the Sierras, like you say, but in the Central Kalahari. That still applies as well.